And a lot of people like to say that, oh, well, it's not the same thing in the fight. I like to say that it is the same thing. If you could touch somebody in the sparring, you could touch them in the fight. You know what I mean? And Bivol is a great fighter, but like I said, every time I get in there with a great fighter, it puts me to a different mindset because I know, these fighters are very dangerous. So when I was sparring with Bivol, I sparred him a lot, and you could go ask him, whoever his people are. I'm not no liar. I heard him the last time we sparred.
Things which coach told you should do this and this, and you are trying one round, you couldn't do it. Another round you try to do this, it couldn't. On the third round you can do it once only, and you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked you.
If Canelo not fighting you, forget about everybody else. Go straight to Usyk. Don't play with nobody else. All right? Anything else can taint the Usyk fight. The Usyk fight is one of the biggest fights of this decade right now. Take it while it's hot. Don't play with him, and don't let him play with you. And that's my words to David Benavidez, because I know he listens to me. He looks up to me. He thinks a lot of me.
I told you guys over and over then that I did this to Sudo Ramirez in the ring. I did the same thing to Dmitry Bivol. I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but those are just the facts.
Following his impressive victory, David Benavidez has set his sights on boxing's elite contenders. Meanwhile, Dmitry Bivol rejected rumors about being badly hurt during sparring, saying the sessions were controlled by coaches, limited in rounds, and competitive for both fighters throughout.
I remember it was some of good moments from my side, some good moments from his side. But it's sparring. Sparring, it's sparring. You do some things which coach told you should do this and this, and you are trying one round, you couldn't do it. Another round you try to do this, it couldn't. On the third round you can do it once only, and you feel like you win this sparring because you did what your coach asked.
Bivol explained that sparring is simply a training exercise with restrictions. Unlike an actual bout where fighters must adjust under pressure, make decisions freely, and discover effective strategies to secure victory inside the ring.
In the fight, they ask you to do something. You will not waste your time if it's not good. You will try to do another things, another. And sparring is.
Meanwhile, Benavidez continues to stand by his version of the sparring session, urging Bivol and those present to speak publicly about what happened, while maintaining that his claims are completely truthful.
Well, you know what? I say the sparring sessions are sparring sessions, and a lot of people like to say that, oh, well, it's not the same thing in the fight. I like to say that it is the same thing. If you could touch somebody in the sparring, you could touch them in the fight. You know what I mean? And Bivol is a great fighter, but like I said, every time I get in there with a great fighter, it puts me to a different mindset because I know, these fighters are very dangerous. So when I was sparring with Bivol, I sparred him a lot, and you could go ask him, whoever his people are. I'm not no liar. I heard him the last time we sparred.
Following his stoppage victory over Zurdo, Benavidez revealed during an interview with Sean Porter and Sean Zittel that his upcoming fight has been finalized against Dmitry Bivol.
So too, with these top fighters, when you're a top fighter, there's no easy sparring because it's like how you said, you're trying to show how good you are, they're trying to show how good they are. You know what I mean? At the time when I sparred Bivol, he was already a great fighter, you know what I mean? So, and I was still young, 22 years old. I was trying to make a name for myself. I had become champion already, but he had way more experience than me, but I did what I did with him with the experience I had, you know what I mean? And like I said, now I'm smarter, faster, I know how to work more, and I've become an all-around better fighter.
Benavidez believes sparring helped him uncover Zurdo's flaws, and now says he expects a similar outcome against Bivol, promising to capitalize on every mistake he sees during their fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we're already in talks with that. But first things first, we got to see how he comes out. If he comes out with any injuries, I don't think he's going to have any problems in that type of way. But that fight is definitely happening. I told you guys that's the next one, and that's exactly what we have on our radar. That's the one.
Benavidez delivered a bold message to Bivol, saying he plans to dominate him even more impressively than Zurdo. The 29-year-old believes he already deserves pound-for-pound recognition, yet feels defeating Bivol is necessary to strengthen his legacy, adding that every major fight continues, shaping his place in boxing history.
Yeah, so based on the sparring, I know the potential of some certain type of scenarios in the ring. You know, for a fight to change or fight to end, it only needs 1 second or one good combination. So I know that I told you guys over and over then that I did this to Sudo Ramirez in the ring. I did the same thing to Dmitry Bivol. You know, I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but those are just the facts. You know what I mean? So I'm coming into this 100% confidence already. I'm not riding on my high horse. I'm not letting the confidence just lead me because I still put in the work. So I put in so much work.
Regardless of whether the fight happens or the sparring stories are proven, Benavidez is gaining recognition as a fearless fighter ready for any challenge. Discussions about future opponents now include heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk. Teddy Atlas believes that if Usyk successfully moved from cruiserweight to heavyweight, Benavidez could also rise in weight and remain highly competitive.
I'm not a dirty fighter. I don't use dirty tactics. And that elbow that I hit him with was, completely unintentional. But when you're throwing punches and bunches like that, man, I was throwing 10-piece combinations every combination I threw. So sometimes that happens. But like I said, I'm not a dirty fighter. I've never been a dirty fighter, and I never will be a dirty fighter. So for anybody saying that I elbowed him intentionally, I didn't elbow any. I've never been a dirty fighter, like I said, and I didn't do that intentionally.
Regardless of whether the fight happens or the sparring stories are confirmed, Benavidez is gaining a reputation as a fearless force willing to challenge anyone. Oleksandr Usyk's name continues entering discussions, while Teddy Atlas believes Benavidez could successfully move up in weight, just as Usyk did when transitioning from cruiserweight to heavyweight.
The great Usyk, and I call him great, and he deserves to be called great. The great Usyk is heavyweight champ. He used to be cruiserweight champ. If he could move up and do it, you're going to tell me Benavidez can't do it? I know that you can make the argument, and I get it, that Usyk started at cruiserweight and went up to heavyweight. That Benavidez started at a lower weight, light heavyweight, and moved up and now got to make another move.
Although Benavidez remains focused on Bivol, Roy Jones Jr. believes he should immediately chase a showdown with Oleksandr Usyk instead. Jones says the matchup currently carries major excitement and warns the chance may disappear if delayed. He also argues pursuing Usyk makes more sense since Canelo Alvarez has never appeared eager to fight Benavidez.
If Canelo not fighting you, forget about everybody else. Go straight to Usyk. Don't play with nobody else. All right? Anything else can taint the Usyk fight. The Usyk fight is one of the biggest fights of this decade right now. Take it while it's hot. Don't play with him, and don't let him play with you. And that's my words to David Benavidez, because I know he listens to me. He looks up to me, thinks a lot of me. I'm going to tell him it's okay to say, no, Opetaia, you haven't proven yourself right now. I want somebody who's proven like I am. I want Usyk. That's what he should do.
Roy Jones Jr. believes Jai Opetaia still lacks enough proof at the elite level, while Andre Ward argues he already dominates cruiserweight despite limited competition. Ward also feels Jones prefers pushing Benavidez toward Usyk because Usyk's worldwide reputation and star power would generate a far bigger fight than one against Opetaia.
Opetaia has proven himself, but he's not the name. He's not the name as an Usyk, not as big money.
So who's he beat?
We gonna do that
Who's he really
another
beat?
Day. He's been at the weight class,
Okay.
at that cruiserweight weight class. You know, it's not a lot of big names. It's not a lot of big names at that cruiserweight weight class. Am I making that up? Has it historically been big names at the cruiserweight weight class?
No, that's why I skipped it.
Right. So I'm just saying, I can't say that a man that's won a title, defended his title, as long as he had, I can't say that he hasn't proven himself. I'm not gonna say that. But the namesake is different. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Andre Ward agrees that Benavidez has already built major recognition across the boxing world, supporting Roy Jones Jr.'s argument that global status matters alongside elite competition. Ward believes Jai Opetaia still needs broader exposure by facing more opponents and increasing his visibility. At the same time, Ward acknowledges that a showdown between Benavidez and Oleksandr Usyk would be a significant statement for the sport. He says if Benavidez decides to pursue that fight, he would completely support the matchup taking place.
So I'm with that. I like that decision. I believe that's going to be the decision that's on the table. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens next. But that's a play right there. That is the play right there.
Prove yourself, and when I say prove yourself, the world don't know you like that yet. That's what I respect. Prove yourself. I'm not saying he's not good enough. I'm not saying he's not good enough to do it. The world don't know him like that yet. So he hasn't proven himself where the world knows him. The world knows Benavidez. The world knows who Usyk is. A lot of people in boxing, because the cruiserweight division has always been kind of lackluster as far as names go, they don't know who the cruiserweight champions are. Yeah, I only know Opetaia and I knew Ramirez, but I don't know the other cruiserweight champions. And I am in boxing. So if you don't have a name like that, then you're not really proving.
The conversation has now shifted, with fans eager for a high-level clash of elite skills. Devin Haney describes Benavidez as powerful and aggressive, while noting Usyk relies on technique and ring IQ against larger opponents rather than brute force. Haney believes such a matchup would be a true showcase for boxing.
After that performance by Benavidez, should Benavidez, beat Opetaia, or even if he just moves up to heavyweight, Usyk is beating these giants, these behemoths, where he can see the punches coming, where he has a speed advantage.
And he's always faster.
He's always faster. What about a dude like this?
I think that it's a good fight because Usyk is not a big heavyweight.
Nope.
He's a guy who's at cruiserweight who went up to heavyweight. He's not the biggest. He's not beating guys, by just overpowering them. He's beating them by skill.
Right.
So I think that this is a great fight because it's skill versus skill, and with David would be his more natural.
The discussion now offers clearer insight into where Benavidez stands against a fighter who has already ruled the heavyweight division. After a major stoppage win, he faces key decisions about moving back down or staying at cruiserweight. His performance eased doubts raised by analysts like Andre Ward, and he has signaled a possible return to a lower weight, with Dmitry Bivol remaining his main target.
Going back down, or you don't know yet?
No, I'm going back down because honestly, at the end of the day, what I want for myself is, nobody pushes me to do anything. Every fight that I've got for the past 5 fights, I've called myself. I want Bivol. I want Benavidez. I want the hard fights that I'm going to have to go deep inside myself and bring the best out of me. Like I've always said, in boxing, you have to put yourself in a position of stress to get the best version of yourself. And that means going up against the best of the best. And I definitely do want to show what my spirit is made of. And I want to show everybody that with belief in yourself, you could accomplish anything.
Benavidez's promoter, Samson Lukowicz, reveals why a Canelo fight never happened. He says Eddie Reynoso called and accepted responsibility for the failed matchup. Lukowicz also recalls Reynoso suggesting sparring between them, but he refused, fearing it could go badly for Canelo, adding more mystery to the fight that never materialized.
I have a call from Eddie Reynoso. And I want to say public that it's my fault because Canelo never fought David Benavidez. He called me up, he said, I need a sparring. Can I have David Benavidez? I tell him no, because he will knock out Canelo. So don't take it.
Amid ongoing debate, Canelo faces renewed backlash after skipping a Cinco de Mayo main event, drawing criticism from fans who felt he avoided the spotlight. Jose Benavidez Sr. openly criticized him, claiming Canelo is deliberately avoiding Benavidez due to the threat he poses, further fueling tensions around their long-discussed rivalry.
Canelo's not the same no more. He's tired. Reflexes are not good. The feet is not good no more. Power's not there anymore. I think he's going to struggle with Dembele, At the end of the day, man, I just want to talk about David Benavidez, to be honest, the Mexican monster.
Tim Bradley has taken a strong stance against Canelo, arguing that he appears to be avoiding a fight with Benavidez and showing reluctance to take real risks. He believes even Canelo's supporters are now starting to question his intentions. Bradley adds that the longer the matchup is delayed, the harder it becomes to justify Canelo's standing, saying Benavidez represents the clearest way to silence doubts about his legacy.
Canelo, stop. Come on, bro. You ain't had a balls to get in there and fight no damn Benavidez. And I know, come on, Canelo fans. Come on, Canelo fans. Bring it, for real. No, you didn't have the balls to get in there and fight Benavidez. but you're gonna go to his fight, right? Come on, stop. Get in the ring with Benavidez. It's the perfect time now. He's already blown up to 200 and something pounds now. Now you bring him back down, bring his ass back down to 168. Canelo, instead you want to fight him.
As opportunities and pressure continue to rise, Benavidez faces a crucial decision that could define his legacy and future opponents. Whether it's Bivol, Usyk, or another contender, his next move is vital. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, subscribe, and share your thoughts on who Benavidez should face next.